Oh, I love it. And I'm honored to be here as always. And this is like my favorite thing is to be with you ladies. It's just a whole different vibe than our different team trainings and everything when it's just us ladies and maybe a guy or two in the room. But anyway, I love it. I'm honored to be here with you. And I will say this, couple little bullet points before I jump into the meat of this. First of all, I don't think you ever just completely nail time management. It is always a work in progress. Your rank, you're never going to just arrive. Oh, I've arrived at a certain rank and now I've got it all together. And, seasons change and commitments change. And I was going to make a joke, hormones change, all kinds of things change that require us to change with the times. And so you're constantly revamping your schedule, your structure, how you manage your time, how you manage your energies, all that thing. So I'm just coming to you as a person who is right in the middle of that, doing the same thing. And I also happen to coach a lot of people in this as well, because of what we do with Optavia and the team we lead. And I will say this, I don't quite know how I'll come across when I say some of these things, and that's not my job to figure it out. I'm not worried about what you think about me, but I will say this. If you anybody type A in here, okay. I always tell my husband and just people who I coach, I'm like, anything I say to you, I'm like 10 times harder on myself. So what I say to you are legit things I say to myself, ways that I coach myself. Like I'm hard on myself in a good way. And then I have to learn how to give myself some grace. So I'm not worried about how it's going to come across when I say some of these things. I'm going to jump right into it because I want you to know that my heart for you, like my heart for myself, is to help you grow, build what you want to build in this business. And if you don't learn to manage your time and your energy wisely, you're either going to delay that process or hinder that process. Okay. And we want to get you to your dream fast, right? You want to get to your goals fast. So, and also, let me also say this. When we started this business, we were in full-time ministry. I had commitments to the church. My husband had commitments to the church. Our children were 7 months old and 2.5. So I'm not coming to it from a person who's like, my kids are at school all day and I work full time with Optavia and I have no clue. I have a clue. Okay. So most of us who are full-time Optavia coaches did not start out that way. We paid our dues, and that's why we now have the time freedom we have. So just file that away in case you want to start playing comparison game like some of us do. I've heard it all. You don't understand, Weslynn. You do Optavia full time. I do Optavia full time because I do understand. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna tell you one thing that is gonna posture the rest of my chat here with you. And I'm not gonna tell you about how to create buckets and how to do this and how to trick your time and blah, blah, blah. That's not my groove. I wanna just tell you one thing. You are not a victim to your current time commitments, your schedule, your structure. You are not a victim. The time you have in your life for this business, for other things, the time that you put out, because time is like a budget, it's like money, right? There's an input and there's an output. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Your life and the time you do have or don't have is totally your making, with the exception of maybe some circumstances that you can't control. But our responses to those things, tragedies, different things that people need from us, right? So I want to posture that, because a lot of times when I talk to women about time management, they're like, well, all of the excuses and all of the things come up. And if I can just cut through, I want to say BS, cut through the BS. Those are things you chose. If you've got 4 kids, I think you chose to do the things that require you to have 4 kids. Okay. Or you chose not to be on birth control. Okay. You chose to have 4 kids. Okay. I chose to have 2 and I stopped there for a reason. Okay. You chose to be married. You chose to invest your life and your time into someone else. Stop blaming your hubby. He ain't the problem. Okay. You chose the job and the career you have. If you're going back to college, you chose to do that. You chose to start an Optavia business. You choose your volunteer and your civic responsibilities. If you're crazy enough to serve on the PTO, I'm just kidding. I'm not that person. Then you chose that. And so I say all that to say, take extreme ownership of your time and your life. You created it. But guess what that means? You can change it. I'm going to read you a quote. You are under, I didn't write down the author. You are under no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. So if 5 minutes ago, someone just walked into your room and was like, Mom, I need this, or your coworker said they need this, and you're the type of person to drop everything and go do it, guess what? You don't have to be that person anymore. You can create new boundaries. Most of us don't have time management issues. We have boundaries. We have boundary issues. The things I hear from women, are all figure outable. Well, my kids don't go to bed till 10 o'clock. Well, could you change that? Could the kids go to bed at 9 o'clock? Who's the mom? I mean, my hubby says he needs 2 hours with me every night after the kids go to bed. And I'm like, well, could you tell the hubby, let's compromise? I'll give you an hour of my time. But while you're sitting there sending me TikTok videos, I'm going to work on my Optavia business. He doesn't know the difference anyway, by the way, between what you're doing on your phone. He doesn't know if you're building your business or not. Okay. So anyway, we can change these things. So I know I'm taking the bulk of the time to tell you this one thing. I'm not going to give you all the tips and the tricks. I'm going to tell you this. Look at your life. Number one, do an evaluation of your time. Where does your time go? Most of us are wasting time, or we're giving our time to things that we're no longer really passionate about, and we just feel like we should. We're very shouldy people. Well, I told the PTO I was going to do this. Well, I told my mom I was going to bring her dinner every Tuesday night, or I told somebody. Well, you know what? That you can change that. And some of us need to have some serious conversations with our spouses, our kids, our family members. I mean, coworkers that you're not available to do lunch with anymore because you need to take that lunch hour to build the business. We need to have some serious conversations with people and say, hey, I've made a commitment to my business that I'm building in this season. And I know we typically do this, but this is changing. And find some time. Evaluate how you spend your time. Get clear on where it's going. Define your non-negotiables. What are the things you're not willing to sacrifice? Start there. And then start trimming the fat. And by the way, if you think that going full-time Optavia is going to give you more time, yes, it will. But by the time you do, you're going to have more commitments and more people relying on you. And you're also going to find out that more time is almost more of an issue than having less time because it just flies out of your hands. So I'm just going to tell you this, ladies, it is time to take extreme ownership. You don't need another tip or a trick on how to manage your time. All the resources and the tools are out there. You need to budget your time wisely. Get clear on what you're creating, what you can sacrifice for a season, and where you need to how you need to better manage your time. I hope that helps.